be entertained.
So am I free to go?
And by all means, if you do leave, it does mean that we would be able to use powers to arrest you.
Pine News is the source of this episode. Make sure you click the link below, subscribe to his channel, and give him the recognition he merits. Auditor Panicky is filming outside a police station in this episode. Officers approach him and start talking as though something has happened, even though nothing has. No complaint has been read out. Demands for his details were made without any explanation of the offense. The responses don't land when he asks what power they're utilizing. It's pressure rather than clarity. It's mindset rather than legislation. Threats of arrest are made as the situation worsens. However, the fundamental question of what law applies never appears to receive a clear answer. This is the point at which it becomes unpleasant.
Can I take your details?
Am I obliged to?
Yeah, obviously with the current climate, and you're acting a bit strangely filming a police station.
No, I just told you what I'm doing. Photography's not a crime. I'm sat here, I'm waiting to get some pictures of a police car going in and out of the police station to finish off a story that I've been working on.
Yeah,
So I'm not obliged to give you my details because I haven't broken any laws.
Do you mind not getting that in my face?
Well, it's not in your face and you came up to me, so...
Yeah, because you're filming a police station.
Well, that's not against the law though, is it?
No, but it's suspicious, strange behaviour.
It is quite suspicious.
No, I don't think it is. And terrorism or current climate has nothing to do with it. Terrorism in Waterlooville, I don't think so.
It can happen anywhere. And it would cause us concern that you're sat here constantly filming a police station.
Well, why are you saying constantly?
Because
I've been sat here for 20 minutes waiting for a car to come around the corner to go into the police station, which is what I wanted to capture.
Which we did.
Yeah.
So once that happened, I'd expect you to stop.
Yeah, you continued to film.
Because you got what you wanted.
Yeah.
And left. If that was
because you got out of the car and then you started walking over here.
Their initial statements are demands rather than inquiries. As if a camera inherently arouses suspicion, there is no attempt to provide context or explain what is truly wrong, just personal information. Filming does not become illegal just because it is labeled as weird. It is not a legal threshold, rather, it is a subjective response. It breaks down when they use the current situation as an excuse to search for his specifics. A general allusion to worldwide tensions does not establish grounds at a particular time. Recording a public building would be illegal everywhere if it were intrinsically linked to terrorism. And it isn't.
Now you just turned yours on.
Mine's on already.
Alright, well that's fine.
Yes.
Well, that's fine. You're recording me and I'm recording you. But I'm not obliged to give you my details because I haven't broken any laws. Okay? And being suspicious is not a crime either.
You can appreciate though, given the current climate and terrorism being an issue, you are sat here.
There's no terrorism in Waterlooville. Yeah. Oh, and understand why you come over to speak to me, but coming over and like, oh, we'll get your details, blah blah blah, I'm not obliged to do
obviously
that.
I'm engaging in a conversation with you.
Yeah. And I told you what I was.
I'm PC Morris.
I told you what I was doing.
Waterlooville Police Station. All I asked was for your details. And you could introduce yourself.
I explained to you what I was doing.
And I understand that. All I asked was for your details, for your name.
Yeah, no, you don't need my name.
No?
No, because
you
stick it in your computer and it stays there forever.
It's not that. It was honestly from me to engage in a conversation with you. I appreciate it if you obviously
I've just spoken to my sergeant as well.
Yeah.
Under the Terrorism Act, with the current climate as severe and the way you're acting, I will need your details.
It doesn't match the body language to reframe it as a cordial introduction. Open your notebook, get your pen ready, and go straight to personal details before saying anything like hi. A typical conversation wouldn't begin like that. That's how you begin to record someone. The explanation seems to have been added after the fact to soften the way it seemed on camera. Then things worsen. The other cop departs to speak with a sergeant and then reappears with a recommendation to use terrorism legislation, rather than basing the conversation in something concrete. That jump is instructive. Escalation becomes the backup plan when frontline police are unable to explain a clear foundation. Additionally, it indicates a more serious problem if a supervising officer is willing to approve such stretch.
Please provide me
I'm not obliged to give you my details because I haven't broken the law.
Recording equipment if you are filming the police station under the current climate severe. Okay.
It is an
that's not.
No,
it's not. That's
anyone watching your videos.
You can't seize my equipment.
Anyone watching your videos that you are currently, say, you're live streaming.
Yeah.
will probably agree that under terrorism at the moment, with the risk as it is.
Now this is live streaming, because if you take my phone, it's not on my phone.
I'm explaining to you, I'm explaining to you the reasons why I'm speaking to you, and all I am requesting for is your details. I'm not going to.
I'm not obliged to get. I've not broken no laws.
If you don't give us your details, it gives us grounds to arrest.
No, it's not. No, it's not. That's unlawful arrest. No, that is unlawful arrest.
Failure to give a name.
I've not broken no laws, so that would be an unlawful arrest.
Under the Terrorism Act, I'm requiring your name and address because of your behaviour.
Terrorism Act.
At this moment, the logic is completely reversed. They contend that withholding information somehow becomes the offence itself rather than first defining a legal foundation. Arrest capabilities don't work like that. Refusals do not automatically result in grounds. The grounds must exist on their own. The notion that recording equipment can be confiscated just because someone refuses to give their name demonstrates a grave misinterpretation of seizure authorities, which call for explicit legal authorization and necessity rather than annoyance. And it becomes clear what the priority has been all along when the notebook reappears. An identified crime is not the main emphasis. It involves completing a line on a page.
I've actually got written permission to sit here and do this.
Right, well, why didn't you tell us that? Can you show us that, please?
Where's your written permission?
That's not a public place.
Police station. A police station's not a public place.
Well, it's still paid for by the public, isn't it?
It's not a public place though. Under the
well,
definition
where I am is a public place.
You're right there.
And I'm allowed to film anything I can see from a public place.
Within reason, but if your actions go beyond that and are suspicious...
Well, my actions aren't going beyond that. I've told you exactly what I'm doing. It's to finish off the end of my social experiment blog that I was making.
Well, you're still filming now, so it's...
I'm filming now for my own protection.
Protection from what?
From you. You're standing there threatening to arrest me under terrorism.
No, I'm asking for your name and details.
Which I'm not obliged to give you unless I've been arrested for a crime.
I don't feel like we've given you any cause for concern about our behaviour.
Well, he's threatening to arrest me under the Terrorism Act, which you couldn't even quote to me.
He's not threatening
I'm not going to quote every part of the law.
You're telling me, by me not giving you my details,
that's not my job.
You told me me not giving you my details is an arrestable offence, which it isn't.
The fact that Pinaki is the one creating written legislation while the police rely on recollection and conjecture says a lot. The conversation should restart when he gives them the language. Guesswork is eliminated by written facts. Rather, one officer asserts that the station is not a public space in an attempt to completely redefine the environment. The main concern here isn't even whether a structure is financed by taxpayers. Location is crucial, and Pinaki is situated on land that is open to the public. That distinction is important. The attempt to blur boundaries is ineffective if he is legally present in an area where the public can stand. Then he says that it's not his business to quote the law. The entire dynamic is revealed in that statement. It is imperative to comprehend and articulate statutory authorities while using them.
Not permission for you to sit
which it isn't.
Station, which is what you've just
I am perfectly entitled to sit here and film a police station from a public space. In fact, I can even give you the law on photography. There you go.
It says that you do not need a permit to film or
no, I don't.
In a public place. It doesn't say anything about filming or taking photographs from a place that isn't public. Photography on private land is not restricted if the landowner has given permission.
I'm on public land.
Yeah, but
I can still.
The fact that you're filming the police station, which is not
from. That's not a house, though, is it?
No, but it's not a public place.
Yeah, but if someone wants to stand outside my house in the public and film it, they're allowed to do that by law.
No,
there is no law that's. No, there's no law. No, there's not.
Right.
No, there's not.
After there's permission from one of the bosses in there.
I don't need permission to film the police station from a public space.
As I said, my suspicions are about your behaviour. It's all very strange.
What's suspicious about my behaviour? Do you think I'm a terrorist?
You're not talking to
Have I got any bombs in my bag?
You're quite defensive about the fact that...
Yes, because you've come over here to stop me. You're trying to stop me from filming.
Her answer completely misses the mark. A prohibition is not created by the lack of a clause that specifically permits recording. The law doesn't work that way. Unless there are special restrictions, you are usually able to record anything you are legally allowed to witness in public. Pointing a camera at a building just because someone inside doesn't like it isn't strictly prohibited. The emphasis switches to his actions when that viewpoint breaks. as if requesting clarification or defending one's rights somehow turns legitimate behavior into suspicion. It's not offensive to be firm. It is not obstructive to ask inquiries. Another approach to justify discomfort is to reframe serenity as defensiveness.
And finishing my blog.
You wouldn't even provide me your name.
Well, that's because I don't need to.
All this amounts.
Because I'm not obliged to give you my name, that's
You're
why.
not obliged.
Well,
However,
exactly.
when I approached you to engage in a conversation, and you were quite defensive.
I actually didn't want a conversation. If you had just gone into the police station, I would have left because I got the footage that I wanted.
Yeah, but you can understand that obviously, given the fact that you're sat here filming a police station, it's quite concerning for us.
Why?
Officers, for officer safety.
What am I going to do?
You're
What
about to
officer
publish
safety?
a video showing the registration plate of police cars in a police station.
They're in public all day, every single day. Police cars. There's no privacy in public. That's why there's CCTV cameras, millions of them all around the country. So I don't think your colleague really should stand there and threaten to take away my camera equipment.
He didn't threaten to take
Yes, he
away your
did.
camera equipment.
Yes, he did. It's on camera. Is this a threat?
The inevitable conclusion should have been reached when one officer acknowledged that he was within his rights. Rather, the argument shifts once more, this time focusing on police safety and the notion that obtaining license plates poses a risk. When examined closely, that reasoning falls apart. Public highways are used by police cars. Anyone driving behind them, parking next to them, or passing them may see their registrations. A registration mark is not a source of private information. It is an identifying mark intended for public display. The mere fact that a camera is involved does not automatically transform anything that is publicly shown on a daily basis into sensitive intelligence.
You're trying to scare me into, I don't want my phone to be taken. So in order for me to give up my details that I'm not obliged to give you.
If you believe that we wouldn't be able to seize your phone, why would you be recording live to a cloud so that when your phone is taken?
Oh, when my phone's taken?
Well, that's what you said.
Is that what you're saying?
No,
when my phone's... That's why I'm recording to the cloud and not onto my phone.
You said that you record so that if somebody takes your phone,
yep,
that the videos aren't there.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So I've still got my evidence, because I can't get your evidence off of your camera if this goes to court for me to get all my camera equipment back.
Why would you assume this is going to go to court?
Because if you're going to take my camera equipment, then it's going to go to court, isn't it?
Why would you assume we were going to take?
Because you would have unlawfully arrested me and unlawfully taken my camera equipment. You're trying to scare me into giving you my details that I'm not obliged to give you. I'm not obliged to give you my details. Well, I don't need to account. I'm sat here doing something perfectly lawful from a public space.
It doesn't become any better by calling it a stop and account after the fact. This strategy is intended for a quick interaction in which an officer notes a person's voluntary statements. It does not have mandatory powers or serve as a shortcut to private information. Calling it such doesn't automatically provide a foundation if there was nothing specific for him to explain in the first place. When someone points out that an arrest and seizure must withstand judicial examination, the astonishment at the mention of court is amplified. That shouldn't come as a surprise. It is the typical test for applying those abilities. The fact that it surprises her implies that the repercussions had not been considered. You are entering land that must be defendable beyond the pavement once you have sought detention or confiscation.
The Terrorism Act and threaten and trying to intimidate me.
Giving their details is a necessity that we can use for an arrest.
By making me think he's going to take away my camera equipment.
He didn't say that it was a threat that he was going to arrest you at all.
Okay. Am I being detained?
Sorry?
Am I being detained?
No, it's merely a stop and count. I mean, if you do leave, obviously we do have powers.
Are you going to use those powers if I leave then? Because you just said I'm not being detained, so I'm free to go.
You're not being detained.
So am I free to go?
And by all means, if you do leave, it does mean that we would be able to use powers to arrest you on the grounds of suspicion of an offence.
What offence?
My colleague is speaking to my sergeant at the moment.
So am I free to go?
That's obviously your decision.
And I'm not being detained?
That's obviously your decision.
And I'm free to leave? Am I free to leave? What's that mean?
As I've just explained to you, it's a stop and account.
Have I broken any laws?
At the moment, you are filming a police station.
That's not breaking the law.
Which is why me and my colleague came over to speak to you.
That's not breaking the law, though, is it?
As I explained to you, my colleague has basically gone to speak to my sergeant to discuss
Right.
level.
Are you detaining me here?
I'm not detaining you.
Right. So am I free to leave?
I would suggest you didn't leave.
Am I free to leave?
I would suggest you didn't leave.
Why?
I would suggest that you didn't leave.
Why?
I have answered your question. What you do next is up to you.
Well, I know what next is up to me, but you just said I'm not being detained, so therefore I'm free to leave because I've broken no laws.
The next move is yours. I've asked you to wait.
Okay, I don't want to wait. I'm going to leave and I'm going to go home. Okay?
The most obvious part of the conversation is when Pinekey poses a straightforward status query. Am I being held? No, is the response. That response is significant. A person is free to depart if they are not being held. It's that simple. However, the rhetoric changes to I have the power to stop you and even threats of jail based on unidentified suspicion as soon as he exercises that freedom. More insight can be gained from that paradox than from any previous statement. When someone starts to leave, powers don't turn on or off. Additionally, there is a broader problem with the use of phrases that are not really serious. Without a specific offense, an arrest was proposed. There was no explicit legal foundation for the suggestion of equipment seizure. Legislation against terrorism was proposed as a backup plan. The legitimacy of important powers is undermined when they are discussed so casually. These are not tools for conversation. They have stringent requirements for a purpose. Exposure, not confrontation, is what brings this chapter to a close. Walks away since, in the end, nothing solid was keeping him there. No detention was set up correctly. No crime was found, and there was no legitimate basis that could last past that date. The substance never materialized, but the outfits persisted and the powers were mentioned. And you can tell how firm the ground was when someone can just go after all that hoopla about being arrested and having a seizure. If you enjoyed this analysis, please make sure to subscribe, like, and share the video in order to support the channel and keep this kind of accountability in the public eye. LawScope UK is who I am. I'll see you all later.